Is there an instance where you feel you said something that appeared to be true to you at the time, and knowing what you know?
Yes, I think I was a little dismissive of the men going their own way.
You don't say.
Because I think I called them pathetic weasels.
Can you say that again? Just the way you said it.
Because I think I called them pathetic weasels.
Yes, you did! Yes, you did!
And I had my reasons for that. My reasons were, roughly speaking, that
Who are the men going their own way, just for context?
Well, they're a group of people, mostly on the net, who've been burned in their relationships, or who conceptualize themselves as having been burned in their relationships.
Erroneous! Erroneous! Erroneous on both counts.
And they believe that the legal structure, in particular, in Western countries, is so tilted against men, particularly in family dispute situations, and divorce settlement, that it's safer for men not to establish permanent relationships with women.
Correct.
Not to cohabit with them, ever.
Correct.
And they're a large movement.
Correct.
Now, how large they are, I don't know, but they're large enough.
Skip me.
And they have what I would regard as an undue influence over relatively bitter and resentful young men who haven't had great success in the dating market, and who are looking for a rationale to write off all women because they're so hurt by their continual rejection. And that is not good for those young men.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Oh dear, Dr. Peterson. I'll get to your blatant straw-manning of young men's motivations for listening to older MGTOWs and our red pill philosophy in a minute.
You gonna learn today.
But first, we have to examine exactly why you describe older MGTOW men's influence over younger men as undue.
Man, there you go with that bullshit.
And in particular, why do you think it's any more undue than, say, your enormous influence over younger men? By your own definition, Dr. Peterson, older men going their own way, like myself, are simply men who did what society wants, needs, and tells men to do. That is, we got married, had kids, worked hard to protect and provide for our families, only for that same society which coerced us to do so by shaming us with terms like deadbeat dad and a real man provides for his family, to pass laws that literally incentivized our wives to divorce us. For example, no-fault divorce, absurdly unjust and parasitic child support, alimony, and divorce settlements. And the cherry on top? Laws which ensure that 90% of the time, the very wife who is delighted in divorce raping us will gain custody of our children, thus enabling her, if it's her whim to do so, to A.
And now for some rapid-fire facts.
Make us jump through hoops every week just to see our own children.
That's a damn shame.
B. Move to another state or country, making it impossible for us to see our children regularly.
Damn.
C. Poisoning our own children against us by filling their heads with her bitter, resentful victim stories while never mentioning her part in the marriage breakdown so that she looks like the innocent victim of a terrible husband and, by extension, father.
Damn!
D. Accusing us of SAing her and or our children to force us to defend ourselves within a court system that treats husbands and fathers accused of SA as guilty until proven innocent, just so that we don't permanently lose all access to our kids.
I'm a human being, God damn it! My life has value! I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
So tell me, Dr. Peterson, how exactly does older MGTOW men's intimate, experiential knowledge of what it really means to marry a woman and raise a family in this society constitute an undue influence on younger, less experienced men? In what way does our lived experience that marrying a woman in today's society means taking on an enormous, worse odds than Russian roulette level risk to a man's financial, emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being constitute an undue influence?
Well, we're waiting.
Tick-tock, motherfucker!
Obviously, it doesn't.
Bitch, please.
The truth is, you disingenuous establishment shill.
Oh, damn!
It's because MGTOW men pose a threat to the gynocratic order of Western society, which depends on men sacrificing themselves for the good of the supposedly superior gender, women.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
You understand perfectly well that if young men learn from older men going their own way, who've been to the puppet show and seen the strings, and so understand perfectly well that Western society is a shell game.
Yes.
Designed to trick men into sacrificing their needs and wants and choices and purpose and future to meet the needs and serve the wants, demands and expectations of women.
Yes.
These ain't opinions. These are facts.
Those young men will stop participating in society exactly as they are doing.
Yes.
And society will collapse exactly as it is doing.
I can see what he's doing. I can see it. I feel it. He's cooking.
But what really makes you a disingenuous establishment shill...
Don't tell me you're innocent. Because it insults my intelligence.
...is the fact that you are virtue signalling that the reason you dislike the influence of older MGTOW men is that it's bad for younger men. When the truth is, you don't really give a shit about those younger men.
Shame. Shame.
Yes, your 12 Rules for Life has helped millions of young men, but only to be productive members of a society that fucking hates them.
He's out of line, but he's right.
A gynocentric society that you and your colleagues at the Daily Wire want to protect and maintain at all costs because it makes you rich. You only want to help young men inasmuch as it enables and encourages them to volunteer to be fed into the same gynocentric meat grinder that deliberately destroys men's lives in order to prop up a society that insists on supporting and enabling the pathological immaturity, irrationality, irresponsibility, Disney princess entitlement, and incompetence of modern women.
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have somewhere to put it. That's the way it is.
So the truth is, when you talk about helping young men, you are being a massive, self-serving hypocrite. Now, let's address your fallacious strawmanning of MGTOW.
You gonna learn today.
You say that it is nothing but a rationalization for writing off all women because these young men keep getting rejected and mistreated by the women they want.
This is the bullshit of all bullshit, you scumbag.
This is an absolutely despicable strawmanning of the red pill philosophy that underpins men going their own way in 2025. The red pill is a philosophy based on the scientific realities of female nature and the behavior of modern women who have been brainwashed by feminist ideology and culturally conditioned by our female supremacist, gynocentric society.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
This means that there are numerous ways that men can and do apply a red pill understanding of the world that do not include writing off all women.
Nobody knows why liars lie.
For example, passport bros. Passport bros don't write off all women. They go to countries that haven't been corrupted by feminism to find wives. There are men that only enter into relationships with virgins or women with body counts lower than 3. There are men that only enter into relationships with religious women. There are men that have relationships with women but do not cohabit with women. There are men that have no long-term relationships. They just have situationships or friends with benefits. And some men choose to satisfy their needs with professionals. And there are even some MGTOW men who choose to get married on the basis of training their wives to be submissive and backing that up with a prenuptial contract. For you to reduce these many and varied types of men going their own way, which simply means being a self-directed man who chooses how to interact with women rather than being shamed, bullied, manipulated, and coerced into interacting with women in a way that only benefits women.
May I interject just a little bit here?
Hell no!
To reduce that to writing off all women because women hurt us is not only a straw man fallacy, but a despicable attempt to shame men into accepting the role of a tool to be used by women and the gynocracy as nothing but workhorses, cannon fodder, sperm donors, walking ATMs, and emotional punch bags.
You're goddamn right.
In short, fuck you and the virtue signalling horse you rode in on, Dr. Peterson. You don't really care about men at all.
Don't be butthurt. You did it to yourself. Okay?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
MGTOW, 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 MGTOW.
That's what I'm talking about!
Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.